Hello, and welcome to Growing Strong Roots, an occupational therapist's perspective on parenting, self-regulation, and resilience. I'm your host, Leanne Bloom, owner and occupational therapist at Oak Bloom OT in Oakland, California. At Oak Bloom, we provide holistic occupational therapy for children, focusing on increasing functional life skills through interest-based learning and family involvement. As a mom and a therapist working with families for many years, I've seen firsthand how overwhelming it can be to raise sturdy children. My goal is to share science-based strategies, real-life stories, and resources that can help you nourish those roots so that you and the children in your life can grow stronger, sturdier, and more resilient. Let's root down together, water those roots so individuals and families can bloom to their fullest potential. So what's in my bag? This is the OT version of what's in my bag trend, but it's what's in my backpack. Have you seen that bag trend? Well, I wanted to hop on and take it one step further through the lens of an OT, mom, and just someone who needs some regulation throughout the day. This is a good thing to do with your kids to teach them resilience and independence at an early age. These are some of the tools that I carry with me every day as a human being who values sensory and emotional regulation. As an occupational therapist, I want to promote independence in children. Using a backpack effectively requires executive functioning skills that can be learned and developed. Additionally, I want the children I work with to learn how to become prepared for what they need and take the things with them so that they can be self-reliant and independent in managing themselves and their sensory needs. As with all sensory tools, each sensory sensation can provide a calming or alerting effect, or a combination of both calming and alerting, with the intention to self-regulate. One might use the exact same tool to calm as we would to activate or stimulate the nervous system. Each of these sensory tools is highly individualized, given your life experience or exposure to these items. They might generate a different effect for that individual. So here's my backpack. Let's start with touch and smell. It's one of my go-to items is scented lotion. It's calming when I put it on my skin, and the smell gives me a little moment of grounding or even self-love. I can rub it between my hands and take a deep breath. And honestly, it's practical too. It moisturizes my skin and it provides a different smell if I encounter anything smelly, or on a hot, sweaty day and I've been moving my body, it provides a little self-care and calm. I once read somewhere that a therapist gave a patient who was really depressed the homework of putting lotion on their feet every day as a therapeutic strategy. And I'm often thinking about that when I rub lotion into my skin, and it feels really good. I also keep peppermint balm with SPF. I like the tingle and smell and sensation, as well as the shine and the feeling of doing something good for my body, putting SPF on for my lips. So speaking of oral and taste, I've got some oral and taste mouth-based sensory tools. The mouth has many nerve endings and can be used as a powerful tool to stimulate the brain. Think about a time when you're trying to concentrate at work or in a conversation. Our hands often go to our mouth area. Chewing is very calming as well, since it engages the proprioception sense. The sensation of taste can be either stimulating or calming. Sour, bitter, spicy, and strong minty taste can be stimulating, whereas familiar flavors or sweetness, especially paired with predictable textures like smooth and chewy, can feel calming for a lot of people. I want to also note that sugar can be very stimulating for some children due to its metabolic effects. With ADHD and taking a stimulant medication, paying attention to hunger can be a challenge. Also, mouth tools can help stay regulated. Ginger chews are one of my go-to mouth tools. It helps freshen my breath, and if I'm having any anxiety and tummy challenges, it can quell that discomfort. I also really love ginger tea and other types of tea for managing cold weather mornings and helps regulate my temperature. And also, if I just want something in my mouth but I'm not really hungry, tea is a really great tool. There are times when I need energy too, and so I don't always have time to go get a snack or a meal, so I keep peanut butter pretzels, peanuts, or cranberry in a little Ziploc bag or a little airtight container. There are other times when I really need to push through an afternoon and want some caffeine and don't have a chance to go get coffee or don't want a big old cup of coffee. I choose these caffeinated cube gel packs. They're endurance gels from cycling that combine caffeine, protein, and quick carbs. Wouldn't necessarily recommend for kids, but they're great for adults. They're perfect if I forget that snack or I'm just hitting a wall. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of them recommended creatine gummies for pre and post-workout. I heard this on the Huberman Lab podcast with Dr. Stacy Sims, a longevity doctor, and I find many of his guests very interesting, and I get tons of information from that podcast. So I bought a bag of those and have those on hand for after a workout or a bike ride, but they also double as a sweet treat. And as always, I carry a water bottle. I like to also carry electrolyte powders for changing up the taste of the water. It provides a little sweet taste too while keeping me hydrated and regulated. Especially if there's a headache involved, electrolytes seem to do the trick. When it comes to touch or tactile, I like to keep a hairbrush in my bag. Taking a quick minute to brush my hair, put it up in a bun between clients can be really regulating, and it feels like self-care. I also keep a hair tie in my bag or a clip to put my hair back if I need it. Also, I tend to run cold, so I always keep a sweater in my bag, even in the summer. I like to stay warm, and that temperature regulation is definitely one of the indications for me that I'm getting dysregulated if I start to feel cold. On the visual side, I rely on sunglasses or a hat to decrease light sensation from fluorescent lighting in grocery stores or lots of people around and strangers. It can feel like too much. So having a way to visually block visual stimulation can help with regulation. There are also personal care essentials such as toothbrush and toothpaste, a little stick of sunscreen. I like this gel one because it particularly feels nice on my skin. I like having lipstick available, freshening up, and also a face mask. You never know when you're going to come into contact with some sickies. So all these things help me feel prepared and feeling fresh for whatever the day brings. For auditory regulation, one of my go-tos is my noise-canceling AirPods. Sometimes I need music for emotional regulation or a podcast for mental stimulation. Also, I can use them to take a noise break and just put them in and use them as earplugs. But I also carry 2 sets of earplugs. I use foam ones for sleep or absolute noise breaks. I also use eargasms, which are musicians' earplugs. I'm also a DJ, so that helps block out certain harmful frequencies that can cause hearing damage. I love loud music. So loud that it causes a vibration in my body, so I need to make sure that my hearing is protected. I can talk more about DJing, performance, and the importance of creative expression in a future episode. And finally, practical items. I like to carry some business cards, medication, and some pain medication as well. Always good to have. I like to have a pen handy because you never know when you're going to want to jot something down or share information. I'm very particular about my pens. I like the friction erasable pen, 0.05. I like the 05 gel pens because it makes me feel that I'm in control of my handwriting. So that's what's in my backpack. Each of these items carries a certain purpose, and whether it be sensory or emotional regulation or practical use. What I love is that all these items weave together self-care, regulation, and preparedness in a way that feels doable and supportive to my nervous system and for the people around me too. I feel like Mary Poppins when I can break out something from my bag that's helpful for those unexpected moments. It bears mentioning that it's important to go through your backpack every few months to clear out unwanted garbage or things that have accumulated along the way. A little backpack logistics. Pay attention to the weight of different items. The external stress that can be placed on the shoulders can cause musculoskeletal problems if the backpack is too heavy for that person. For children, teens, and adults, it should not weigh more than 10 to 15% of their body weight. The ergonomic OT in me wants a backpack that is going to fit you right. The backpack should sit about 2 inches above your waistline, and the straps should be snug and not digging in. So check for redness on the straps, and you can even put this little handy dandy strap across your chest. You can check out the way a person is standing with their backpack and if they're compensating with their body in any particular way. If you're by yourself, you can check your positioning of the backpack in a mirror. Additionally, I like to carry a little hip sack as well. This can be really great for those moments that you just want to grab something, grab your essentials and go and not carry a big backpack. This is a great ergonomic way to do that. The little hip sack, and I have my keys attached to it too. So to recap, what you have in your backpack is highly individualized. Here in this podcast, I share with you what's worked for me over the years of bringing a sensory sensitive being in the world. Clean out those backpacks and make sure that you have the right backpack for the body that it's going on. Check for fit. What's in your backpack? Share with me on social media what works for you so that other people can get ideas and we can all grow together.